Here with Eddie Chambers. He's training to fight Thabizu Mchunu. He's 13-1. Here at Schuler's Gym, you know, it's like 100 degrees in here at least.
Plus.
You know, you did some heavy bad work, some mid work, some speed bad work, some shadow boxing. How do you feel?
Hot. But no, I feel good. I feel good. I feel ready to go already. You know what I mean? When's the starting bell?
Do you usually train with a gold chain around your neck?
Yeah, I do. My mama gave me this chain, and I'm not even rocking with it. I'm gonna keep it.
I see several people in here wearing the shirt with Fam Juice on it. Can you tell me what that's about?
Oh yeah, well, we're working with Fam Juice, a good local company that is trying to make it big. And, you know, it's been around for a while. Now it's time to get them to be a part of boxing. Like one of the faces. I mean, you see other like Gabi Rosado's another one that has Fam Juice as well. So we're just trying to get them into the boxing world and make sure our local Philly companies coming out of the neighborhood.
Cool. You know, this is going to be your first official cruiserweight fight. But you know, you were never a big heavyweight to begin with, so this really wasn't a struggle to make this happen.
No, actually, right now, like I told people before, I could have fought cruiserweight at 190. You know what I mean? It would have been no problem. In fact, right now, I'm close to that myself. You know, right now, like at this point, so it's not so difficult to make 200. You know what I mean? I can feel comfortable. I can eat what I want. You know what I mean? Not saying I'm eating cheese steaks and stuff like that, because I'm staying away from all the fatty foods. As you can see, I'm trying to stay slim and look the part as well as fight the part.
Okay. Now your opponent, he's 24 years old. You know, I think he's a little shorter than you. He's a little kind of stocky. He's a southpaw. What do you think you have to do to fight his style?
Well, it could be a difficult matchup. You know, anytime you fight a southpaw, when you most of your career has been against orthodox fighters, it becomes a bit, you know, it could be a little bit trickier. But as I was, you know, telling you off camera, I've been basically indoctrinated into this game. Let me say it like this: I had a guy by the name of Tim Williamson when I was 15, my first year, 14 to 15, who was a southpaw, and I basically sparred with him every day, almost every single day. You know what I mean? About like, well, I say at least 5-6 days a week. And at that time, I was doing twice a day. So, and he was a very tricky southpaw, tall, you know, about 6'4", and just fast. And it was such a tough thing for me to figure out. But working with him taught me how to fight southpaws, and I was basically doing that for years, maybe 4 or 5 years. I was sparring with him almost every day. You know what I mean? So it showed me the way. You know what I mean? Actually, southpaws aren't that, you know, tough of a puzzle for me to solve anymore. You know what I mean? And even though I haven't fought many in my career, the ones that I have fought, I've beat pretty handily and stopped one.
All right. And this guy, he's a Super 8 tournament winner. It was he's the African Boxing Union Cruiserweight champion. You know, he's on the road lately, and you're obviously the biggest fighter of his career.
Right.
You know, what do you think that does for a fighter when they, you know, it's all of a sudden they just jump way up in class and like they're on the big stage for like the first time in their career? Like, how does that affect them?
Well, that definitely it can affect them 2 ways. They can be cowardice, you know what I mean, and get in there and not able to perform under the big time lights, or they can raise their game and fight at a top level. I'm expecting him to do that. You know, because everybody that fights me for some reason always comes in shape and always comes to beat me because they just look at me, you know, look like he could be any tough guy. I'm gonna come in shape and I'm gonna take this guy's belt or just this guy's ranking. So I mean, it's, you know what I mean. I'm expecting a tough fight, and I'm working hard for a tough fight. So most likely it's not gonna be, because when I'm motivated just as any other top fighter, and you're fighting a guy who's trying to make it into that stage of his career, generally doesn't end well for them.
Okay. How long has training camp been for you?
Oh man, I've been training since my injury. I don't stop. I'm in the gym. That's why my weight is right where it's supposed to be. I can make weight right now if I had to. Even though for me 200 pounds is not really making weight. You know, and that's basically living a lifestyle, just being me. I could eat whatever I want and still make 200. So, but I'm in the gym every day. I do all kind of different things to stay in shape. I use, basketball and different stuff like that, and strength and conditioning, cross training, other sports to keep my conditioning to a very, very high level. And so when they say get in the ring and start sparring, I can come in here. My first day, I can spar 10 hard rounds with two or three different guys. You know what I mean? So it's not an issue for me.
Yeah. Speaking of sparring, I think you have Jesse Hart coming in a little later.
He's gonna beat me up a little bit, man. Get me ready for this here fight. Got the shining star, future shining star prospect Jesse Hart coming in here, former Olympian. So I mean, I always want to get the young studs, the ones that got something to prove, and the ones that are trying to make it to the next level. Because when you bring those kind of guys in, they make you raise your level. Like, hold up, check this little young guy, this youngster, man. He thinks he's gonna just beat me down. No, it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? So that makes you work harder. And you prepare better.
All right, you got Steve Cunningham clowning behind you in the ring.
See, man, everybody. Thanks, Steve, for letting me in this move. I appreciate it. We're having a serious interview. Clowns in here, you understand?
Yeah. And so the fight is what, August the 3rd?
August 3rd.
Yeah, it's in Connecticut.
Yeah.
NBC Sports Network.
NBC Sports Network. Why Connecticut?
Close to home. I don't feel like flying. No. It's where they told me. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter where it is. You know what I mean? As much as I hate to fly, especially long flights. If it was in Africa, I would have had to go there. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. I'm gonna have to travel overseas in anyway to get a title if that's in my future. So gotta be prepared to do anything.
Yeah. Speaking of the belt holders, did you see Guillermo Jones versus?
Yes, I did. It was a surprising fight. I mean, Guillermo Jones being off for like 2 years almost, even longer, even off longer than me.
Dennis Lebedev was the favorite,
and Dennis Lebedev being the favorite. I don't know. It was a shock. I didn't expect someone. I'm not one to feel ring rust is the biggest thing in the world. But don't get me wrong. When you're off for 2 years and you come back, it's kind of difficult.
And he's in his 40s, I think now.
Exactly. Right. It's like Vitaly Klitschko when he came back off a 3-4 year hiatus, basically into retirement, comes back and fights Samuel Peter, first fight out for a world title and beats him. So, and then you look at Floyd Mayweather off for a year, off for 2 years or whatever, he'll come back and off of his retirement, he'll come back, money Mayweather, and come in and just dominate guys. You know what I mean? So it really becomes, like, is ring rust really an issue? I think it just depends on the fighter.
And so who you aiming for at the Cruiserweight division, after this?
Well, I don't like to say after this because no matter how, this guy may see me, he's not on my level, and I don't like hearing that because I train for everybody just as if they are better than me.
Right.
And I like to train with guys who are as good or better, or at least have the confidence to come in and challenge me face to face. So, but if I'm fortunate enough to go out there and perform like I know I can, dominate this guy like I know I can. And the next step for me, I feel, is title contention. I think I'm already worthy of that right now. Okay. Like I said, looking at Vitaly Klitschko and guys like that who come back on their first fight for titles. Don't get me wrong, I was never a world champion, but I've been very close. I've challenged for it. I've been in the land of the trees, and the dinosaurs, whatever you want to call them, Godzilla's, all that, whatever. I've been there, and I fought them. I fought the best of them, and beat most of them. So I feel like I'm in the same class. However, I have to earn my keep as well. I have to go out there and say, okay, I deserve this opportunity. So I got to go out here and win this fight here.
Okay. How would you rate the belt holders right now? I'll list them. There's Marco Huck, I think he got the WBO title. There's Krzysztof Lidarczyk, he got the WBC. There's Juan Pablo Hernandez, he got the IBF. And WBA champion is Guillermo Jones. How would you rate him?
Well, I think popularity-wise, you got to rate Marco Huck first. I think as far as a difficult fighter, there would be, regardless of what most look at him and say, it's probably Guillermo Jones. He's a difficult guy to play. Awkward, long, you know what I mean? Though he's old, I won't say old.
And he takes a hell of a punch.
And he does take a good punch. So that becomes a little bit of an issue with him, you know what I mean? He's also there. But how you say his name? Lidarczyk? Lidarczyk, okay. He's could not get there. I swear.
But anyway,
anyway, I haven't seen much of him. One of my
you fought your boy Steve twice.
Main man, the crazy guy behind me. fought him and did pretty well with him, which leads me to believe that he's a formidable. I mean, he lost one very, very controversial decision to him, and then won the second fight.
He's just coming off a good fight himself. He fought Rakim Shkaev. Shkaev was like beating the hell out of him for 5 or 6 rounds, and then he just came back and stopped him. It was pretty amazing.
Oh wow! Well, see, I mean so as far as like in order, and Hernandez also had a couple of controversial fights with Steve too. They're all good fighters, and I think they're good. I think I'm a couple steps ahead.
Okay.
Talent-wise, strength-wise, everything. You know what I mean? That doesn't say that they're not good fighters, they're not tough guys, and I believe they should be viewed here in the States as much as more than heavyweights are, because heavyweights aren't viewed in the States much either. Because they're hot everywhere else. Everywhere else, that seems to be an American thing that we don't like the cruiserweight division. So I think another thing that would help too is if we stop calling it cruiserweight. Who's a cruiserweight? Nobody knows what that is.
Right.
The lay fan isn't like cruiserweight. Oh, he's a champion of the world, but he's a cruiserweight. What's that? If they just call it heavyweight and call the next division super heavyweight, I think we'd be all out of problems. We have every division in boxing will be interesting.
That's what they do in the amateurs, anyways.
Yeah. Why not? Why we can learn something from our younger counterparts? Why not? You know what I mean? So
we've been saying that for years, actually, Kathy and I.
I don't want to.
We had a big campaign for that. It's just no one wants to hear it.
Honestly, it would be interesting. It would make people pay attention to it. Just the name change. And when we talked about it, that kind of made me think, like, wait a minute, just the name change would make a big difference. Everybody wants to be heavyweight champion of the world. Even if you were a bantamweight. Man, if I can grow to be heavyweight champion, why can't we do that? Plus, if you look at it, the cruiserweight division has the capability for great fights. See how many fights a year these last 5 or 6, 7, 8 years they've been.
Cruiserweight division is definitely hot.
I mean, look,
always good fights.
A couple of those fights. You know what I mean? Here in the States with Adamic and overseas with Hernandez and different fighters and Wodarczyk and all those guys. Then you have Lebedev and
Jones, Lebedev Jones.
Yeah. Then you have, remember, James Toney fighting Vasily Jirov. That was at cruiserweight. Then you also see O'Neal Bell and Jean-Marc Mormon. You know, stuff like that, even with Mormon fighting Hay. Those were interesting fights. You know what I mean? People were like, oh man, they were throwing punches, they were knocking each other out. It's excitement. There's constant, and even another fight they done had like 8 times that I'm pretty sure a lot of people are tired of hearing about, but Ola Afolabi and Marco Huck. They made that for a very interesting.
They had a trilogy.
Right. So why not get people interested in this division? Let's just call it heavyweight. I heard it here second, because they said it.
Alright, that'll do it. Catch Eddie Chambers, Fast Eddie, August the 3rd, NBC Sports. He's going to do his thing. Kabizu Muchino, you're next.
Yes, next.